Hi, this is Delene with McDonald's Sewing and Vacuum, and today I want to take you through how to use the Jade 35 by Husqvarna Viking. This is an entry-level sewing and embroidery machine, and it comes with a lot of wonderful features at a really great price. So if you're interested in getting into machine embroidery, this is a great place to start. So when you take the machine out of the box, there will be a part that has the machine in it, a segment of the box that has the machine in it, and it has this little case. It has the foot control and power cord, which I have already plugged in, so I think you'll probably recognize those. It comes with several accessories, lots of feet. We'll go over most of those in the video. It comes with an embroidery arm in a separate box, an embroidery hoop, and then it comes with a manual, which is actually a very useful manual. I think Husqvarna Viking does a great job with writing their manuals. And one very important piece of paper, this is basically a $300 piece of paper. So you want to make sure that you put this in a very safe place. With the purchase of the Jade 35, you also get embroidery software, an intro version of their embroidery software. And this activation code is your license to use it. So if you lose that, there's a possibility that they will have you pay for another activation code, and that does cost about $300, I believe. So you probably want to keep this piece of paper in a safe place. And then it also comes with a warranty card, which you can fill out and send in if you want with your receipt. And then on the back it talks about the specifics of the warranty. So I think that's what comes with it. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn the machine on and come sit down, and we will go through threading the machine and winding a bobbin. When you turn the machine on the first time, it is possible that you may have an error code come up in this screen. If you do, all you have to do is turn the hand wheel so that the needle comes up, and that should take care of that error message for you. We've had this one out of the box, so I'm not able to show you that message, but it can be a little disconcerting if you've never seen it before and not used this machine before. Okay, I just want to show you one more thing about the machine before we get started. It does have a free arm, and to open that up, you just pull this piece apart to the side, and it also has storage in it. So you can pull this piece back, and there's storage here, and you can also open this piece by pulling it back, and there's more storage here. I think it was really well designed. Because one of the things you can do is when you're finished sewing, the foot control and the power cord and all the accessories fit into the storage unit, and you put the foot down, turn the machine off of course, and there's a knob on the back that you turn, and it becomes its own hard case, and everything except for the arm and the hoop you can store together, which is really nice if you have to put your work away after you're finished sewing. Okay, so that's kind of a tour of the machine. The next thing I want to show you is how to wind a bobbin. So we use and recommend Robison Anton polyester thread, but there are a lot of good brands of thread. You do want to make sure that you are using a good quality thread with this machine. Anything that says dual duty thread, I would say this, you can try using it. If you have trouble with it, I would stop using it. But we also know that thread can wear grooves into your tension discs. So we do recommend using a nice smooth, good quality thread. There are plenty of other brands out there that you're welcome to try. Your local quilt shop will have a good quality thread usually. So that's a really important thing to consider. All right, so the first thing I want to show you is how to wind a bobbin. So I'm going to put my thread, which is cross wound like this, I'm going to lay that down horizontally. If I have a straight wound spool that doesn't have those crosswise winds, then we recommend that you put that spool up. So because this is a cross wound spool, I'm putting it down. Now I'm going to take my thread through this first guide right here and up and around this metal guide here, underneath this little piece that sticks out. Then it's going to come around this guide right here, and this knob right here is the tension for the bobbin winding. So you want to make sure you get that thread really nicely into that tension area. If not, your bobbin is not going to wind smoothly. All right, so I've got my bobbin. I'm going to now wind my bobbin, and the bobbin, it goes over here, but before I put it on this post, the bobbin winding post, I'm going to thread the end of the thread through the hole from the inside out through the hole in the bobbin. And now it goes right up into there. So I want to make sure I check and make sure I've got good tension in this bobbin area, or in the tension area of winding the bobbin. Then I move the bobbin to the right, and I'm going to use the start-stop button on the machine, which I don't know if you can see very well because it kind of slants down, but it's right here. And I have to raise my presser foot, press OK, and then start-stop. Now I'm going to let it wind a little while, and then I'm going to stop. I want to make sure I get this end nice and secure before I trim the end of the thread off, and then I can continue winding. So the most important thing is to make sure you've got it nicely into that tension area, and it should wind very smoothly. Okay, now this bobbin it will start to slow down when it gets full, and it starts to bump up against this area right here. If you don't want your bobbins to get as full, or if you want them to wind a little fuller, this is actually adjustable. You can use a screwdriver here to loosen this area and move this little white piece in and out to get that bobbin winding where you want. I'm not going to wind a full bobbin today because we won't use it all. But then they've conveniently provided a little cutter right here, so I'm just going to cut my thread just like that. And that's all there is to winding a bobbin on this machine. Now, one of the wonderful things about it, I'll show you how to put the bobbin in the machine in a minute, but the other thing you can do on this machine is actually you can wind a bobbin through the foot with it still threaded through the needle, which is very convenient, I think. So I'll show you how that works, but I need to thread the machine to do that. So the next thing I'm going to do is show you how to thread the machine. So again, my cross-wound spool is horizontal. I'm going to go back through this same guide, and there are little lines up here that kind of help you know where to go. I'm going to bring this thread up and over through, there's a little opening right here. I'm going to bring the thread through that opening. Now, I didn't tell you this earlier, I should say it right now. It's very important when you're threading the top of the machine that you have the foot up. Right here in this machine, there are 2 tension discs. And when the foot is up, those tension discs stand open. When you put the foot down, the discs are closed. That's what provides the tension on the thread that helps the machine make a nice loop or a nice stitch. So in order for you to get the thread into those tension discs, you need to make sure that the foot's up when you're threading here. And then we also recommend that as you go down through this section, you grab the thread on both ends and just kind of floss it through there like you would floss your teeth. And then bring it back up. It's going to go around. There's a take-up lever in here that has a gap in it. You should be able to just bring your thread up and down and it will catch. All right, so once you've gotten the top portion of the machine threaded, I recommend that you, when you get down to the bottom here, that you go ahead and put the foot down. What's going to happen now is that those tension discs are going to grab the thread so it won't pull out quite so easily while you're threading the needle here at the bottom. All right, and the next thing you want to do after you put the foot down, there's a little guide right here in front of the needle, and from right to left, you pull your thread into that guide. Then there is the needle threader, and I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to pull it down like this and then try to get my left hand out of the way here. So what you want to do is pull this needle threader down so that this threading portion of it wraps all the way around the needle. There's a tiny little hook that goes into the eye of the needle, and the needle has to be in just the right position for it to catch that. Usually when you finish sewing, the needle will end in that position. All right, so I'm going to get my thread back in through that guide. It came out while I was talking. And I'm going to wrap it around through the outer guide there. Then the thread comes in to the middle. There's a gap in the middle of this piece that wraps around the needle. And I'm going to hold my thread with some tension, but not too tightly. If I hold too tightly, it's going to pull the thread back out before I ever get it threaded. So I'm going to lift up the needle threader as I let go with the thread. And what it does is it pulls a loop through to the back of the needle. And so you want to just pull on that loop. I always keep a pair of scissors or tweezers with my sewing because it makes it easier to do things like grab that on. And there's also another cutter here on the side of the machine for your convenience, and that's threading the needle. Okay, now you're always going to be happier when you get ready to sew if you take this thread and take it through the gap in the foot and pull the top thread to the back. Now I'm going to I was going to show you how to wind a bobbin at this point. So if you want to wind a bobbin here, you would take your bobbin and put it up here as we did before. You can leave your thread in the needle. Make sure it comes under a metal foot. You don't want to do this with a plastic foot because you can actually cut a groove through the foot and ruin it. How do I know that? Because we've done it. So under a metal foot, there are metal bars right here on the front of the machine. Those are there to protect your machine from getting grooves worn into it. And then it comes through a guide here, through the hole in the bobbin, and you wind it just as you did, as we did earlier. Okay, so that's really a nice, convenient feature, I think. Now I'm going to take the bobbin and show you how to put it in the bobbin case. This is a drop-in bobbin, which drop-in bobbins are very nice because you don't have to pull your thread up before you start sewing. With a side load bobbin in a bobbin case, you do have to always pull your thread up. So this is another convenience of this machine. With your bobbin, you want to take your thread and have it come counterclockwise, or if that doesn't work for you, think about it coming over the top to the left, or even it makes a P. That's how the letter P, if it comes over to the side like that. So that's how you want your thread to come off the bobbin. You just literally drop it into the bobbin case there. And then there's a gap right here in the plastic. You want to put your thread under that gap. And listen, make sure as you pull it over that you hear it click into the bobbin tension. And then you can bring it around the guide in that plastic portion of the machine. Put the lid back onto the bobbin case. You put those little guides in there and just push down. In case I didn't say it, I don't think I did, to open the bobbin case, you pull this little button to the right. It just slides over to the right. Okay, and then once you've got your bobbin in there, you can just cut your thread like that and it's ready to go.